it going, everyone? Good to have you back. Gonna hear talk about some baseball, and you know the drill. We're gonna talk about some hockey. So, hope you guys all enjoyed the game last night and enjoyed the video that I put out yesterday. Gonna be doing a lot of work on some more content today, and I'm gonna be doing a Pittsburgh Penguins overview on their prospects and what I think about their outlook of their future. That'll be coming up later today. So, we'll get into the game. So we'll start off. The Dodgers take a 2-1 lead in the World Series over the Tampa Bay Rays, making it 2 wins away from them winning their first World Series in over 2 decades. So 2 more wins for them and 3 required for the Rays. So it's getting pretty breakneck speed for the Rays, and they need to really get some consistency going, get some of their bigger players stepping up. So the game started off with Walker Buehler starting he's starting against Charlie Morton, and he dominated. There's no other way to put it. Buehler was an absolute beast tonight, and Charlie Morton was good in his own right, but just couldn't outduel Buehler. So the game started off with a ground ball over to Willie Adames, and he threw it, kind of spiked to the ground, and Ji-Man Choi made probably one of the plays of the playoffs from the first base perspective. He, as many of you probably saw, he did full splits and he picked it in the dirt. He was looking like Joey Votto there. So, really awesome play to see, especially when you see that he's 6'1" and 260 pounds. I am not even 200 pounds, and I can't do the splits. Just to see a guy like that, I don't even know what it would take to make your hamstrings be able to stretch like that and not pull something, but that was cool to see. So, moving on, we saw Turner. He broke the record for home runs by third baseman that was his 11th as a Dodger. So it wasn't of the postseason. This was his as like an LA Dodger. And he also had some great defense in this game. He made a nice hockey goalie save, glove save type of pick at third base and threw it over nicely. And he made a couple great plays over at third. So, like I said, for the Dodger side, my pick was Turner that had to pick up the slack, and he's really been coming up big, and he's been finding the bat. So, very valuable. And I think if he doesn't disappear for the next 2 games, over the next 2 or 3 games, I think the Dodgers are going to close it out. So, Walker Buehler ended this game with 10 strikeouts, and he was actually throwing a no-hitter into the bottom of the 5th inning. And he was absolutely filthy and in control. And that's the good makeup of a pitcher that you ask for, is them to have their velocity and control. And tonight he was unhittable. When he was getting those 10 strikeouts, his strikeouts were up in the zone, borderline, change-ups on the outside corner for strikes. He was throwing every one of his pitches effectively in for strikes. So, and what I want to discuss here is that and I'm sure I'm not the only one, I've seen analysts say it too, but now that I watch Walker Buehler, he is the second coming of Justin Verlander. There's no doubt in my mind. And he is so composed and so clutch at such a young age, and pitching in the World Series, there's no bigger stage for him to show off his stuff. And I think the Dodgers are set for the future with him being the ace. And also Dustin May behind him is going to be an amazing complementary, maybe could be an ace on a second team or another team if it wasn't the Dodgers in the future. Although he may not be the ace now, him as a 1-2 punch with Buehler would be great for Dodgers fans. So, the Dodgers bats obviously stayed hot in this game, like I said was going to be a key part if they were to win this game. So, it started off, Max Muncy got a hit, 2 RBI single, made that 3-0, and that was following the Turner home run, which was a solo shot. And only the 5th sack bunt of the playoffs was from Will Smith, and he got that over, and it was 5-0 after that. So the first hit that Buehler actually gave up was to Manuel Margot. So after that, they obviously pulled him after he got to 10 strikeouts. But he did his job, and every time the Dodgers would scrape a run across, he would just make it that much more impossible for the Rays to get anything done, at least in the part of the game where they needed to get it done. So then Willie Adames got his 6th hit of the postseason. He was kind of on a cold streak, just like Brandon Lau, and he had an RBI double, which cut it to 5-1, but immediately Barnes hit a home run, solo shot, and that made it 6-1. So again, when you're up against Buehler or any of the Dodgers pitchers and you're down, it's very difficult when your offense isn't on top of everything. So Randy Arozarena hit another home run, and that is tied for the most in postseason history. One of those names on the top of that list is Nelson Cruz. So he's tied with him and 3 other players. So if he gets one more home run, he'll stand alone there, and he's also a rookie. So that was it for the game. 6-2 Dodgers win, and the next game is going to be really crucial because it's going to be basically a tie or die game for the Rays. They're going to have to tie this one up, otherwise they're down 3-1. And it's very rare to come back from 3-1, although it happened in this playoffs. To execute it, almost a reverse sweep is very hard, especially when you have to flip that rotation back over and you're up against the aces again. But they may have a chance at the bottom half of the rotation for the Dodgers, but they have to try to extend the series if they have to try to tie it. That's the bottom line. So we're just going to move over to the NHL. A few pieces to look at here. Travis Dermott comes back for the Maple Leafs on a 1-year kind of prove yourself deal. He signed for $874,000 and he got a $10,000 raise. So it definitely is like a prove yourself deal, and maybe he can set himself up for the future in a top 4 role. And Marco Rossi, first round pick this year of the Minnesota Wild, signs his entry level contract. And everything that I've read about him, I read the story about his mom and dad taking him to practices hours away when he was playing junior, and even before then, it just seems like he, from what they were saying and what scouts were saying, he has one of the best work ethics of anyone in the draft, and doesn't take anything for granted. He knows that what his parents had to do to sacrifice for him to be where he is, and from what he's saying is that like he loved Ottawa, the 67s in the OHL, but he is ready to step into the NHL, is what he's saying. So it'll be interesting to see if he cracks that Minnesota roster. There's definitely room for him, especially with some of the players departing this year. Like since Jason Zucker's not there anymore, I think that really gives an opportunity for him. And since the elite prospect pool for the Minnesota Wild isn't as deep as some other teams. So we'll be looking out for Marco Rossi in the preseason, definitely. And so former NHLer Nikita Nesterov returns to the NHL on a 1-year deal. He's going with the Calgary Flames for league minimum $700,000. So he last played for the Montreal Canadiens in the NHL, and he played recently for CSKA Moscow in the KHL, and he's 27 years old, low risk, high reward type of contract. And I remember watching him, Tampa Bay Lightning, when he was kind of bouncing around, and he was always a good puck mover, has a good shot, but wasn't able to really put it together consistently in the NHL. But the Flames are going to give him another chance, especially after they lost T.J. Brodie to the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's worth bringing in a guy who you think can move the puck and play on one of the power play units. So, and the last piece of NHL news for today is that the start date is still targeted for January 1st, and that's good because the date hasn't changed. They haven't been adjusting it, so it means that they must be on track. And Batman was saying that it's probably going to be under different circumstances, and he hasn't released anything of what he means by that. But from what I'm hearing, and my own opinion, I think it's probably going to be a 48-game season, because I just don't think the amount of time that the players spent in a hiatus this year, I don't think they can ask a full 82 games. maybe 62. Maximum is what I can think, but it still looks like it's on track. So whenever the preseason is going to be, if they're going to have a condensed one or something, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. If it's going to kind of fall in line with what the NBA is doing, start the preseason maybe when the NBA season is starting on Christmas Day. So it'll be fun to look forward to, and I'm sure things are really going to pick up with this channel, having the NBA and NHL going full time, and I'm honestly really looking forward to that challenge, and it's going to be fun. So that's it for the rundown of what happened last night in the NHL and MLB. So I will be doing the Pittsburgh Penguins breakdown video, like I said, and I'm going to get to work on that pretty soon. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and there'll be many more to come. I'm going to test out my editing, as you might be seeing on this video, and the future ones. And everyone, thanks for coming by again. Anyone who's watching, commenting, really appreciate it. And if you could do that again for me, that'd be awesome. So everyone, look forward to seeing you in the next video, and have a good night.